Hey guys, what's up? Today, something different. Today, we're making a Mountain Dew cake with Dorito frosting, or more like Dorito glaze. And by we, I mean me. This fool's got things to do. He's going to be back at the end of the video to eat the cake with me and tell you what he thinks. But the person making the cake, all me. All my work. He's just going to get to sit and eat cake. He ain't even going to say anything in this intro. He's just phoning it in today. Nothing. He's not going to say anything because he's lazy. I'm going to go to the kitchen, make this cake. I'll see you guys in there. Okay, here's what we need for today's video. Lemon Supreme. I'm going with the delicious moist cake mix. All the moisture we can get in this is going to be very helpful. Next, lemon pudding. Who would have guessed that lemon pudding would be the secret ingredient? Going to need 4 eggs, 12 ounces of Mountain Dew, some Pam, and some cooking oil. I prefer canola oil. That's what we need to make the cake. Now, to make the topping or the glaze, if you will, we're going to need more Mountain Dew. We're going to need some powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and last but not least, the crushed Doritos. Okay, so next in a bowl, we're going to mix our cake mix. Our pudding. Our eggs. Last but not least, the Mountain Dew, 12 ounces. You're going to want to pour it slow so it doesn't completely go crazy. Let it mix in just a little. Now, you're going to want to break up the yolks and mix this by hand for a few moments. And then we're going to move on to the beaters. Okay, now we have a good start. We're going to go ahead and bring in the beater. Okay, next, we're going to blend this on low for about 30 seconds. You may ask yourself, Greg, why are you using such a deep dish to cook this in? As you can see, big sides, big walls on it. Well, the reason is, unlike most cakes, when you make them, you're going to want to grease the bottom with some Pam or what have you. Unlike most cakes, you put the cake in, you put the mix in, you cook it. Then when it's done, you flip the cake over and frost it. The bottom is now the top. You frost it and along the sides. This cake is going to stay in here because we're going to crunch up Doritos and put on the top of it. If you try to flip this over and glaze it, all that happens is your Doritos fall off and it becomes very messy. So we're going to leave it in here and then top it with a thick layer of Doritos that you can get out at your leisure. So that's why I'm using a high-walled baking dish. Depending on your altitude, and depending on the weather that day, because actually the extra 4 ounces, normally you put 8 ounces of liquid into a cake mix. The extra 4 ounces, it may take a while to absorb. I'm going to start out putting this in for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. I'm going to test it, and then we'll see from there. At the end of this, I will let you know the amount of time it took for me to cook this cake. Your results may vary. You probably want to start checking if you're in a higher altitude around 50 minutes. It really kind of depends. Anywhere between 40 and 50 minutes, check on the cake. It may take a little more time just depending on your weather and altitude, like I said. All right, it's going in the oven. Have a safe journey, my friend. Okay, the cake is out. One very important piece of information before we go any further. I was reviewing the video while the cake was in the oven baking, and I noticed the portion where I added 1/2 a cup of canola oil. The sound was horrible. And so I just cut it out. I didn't want to confuse you guys. I'll just tell you now. When you're mixing in the eggs and you're mixing in the cake mix and everything else, after you mix in the Mountain Dew, let the Mountain Dew go in first. Then go ahead and mix in 1/2 cup of canola oil. Sorry to have to put it in here, but hey, it had to go somewhere, right? Plus, I will include all directions in the description below. Next, we're going to want to poke a bunch of holes in this cake. I have fashioned my own tool to do this. Now you don't have to be shy, you can go crazy with the hole poking. What this is designed for is for the icing that we're going to make to actually get down into the cake. Next, we're going to make the glaze that goes on top of the cake. We're going to start with 2 cups of powdered sugar. 1. 2. Followed up next by a 1/2 cup of Mountain Dew. 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Next, we're going to mix those up. I'm going to mix this up until the sugar is completely dissolved and this is somewhat solid. We now pour the Mountain Dew glaze onto the cake very slowly, kind of a drizzle. Now, before we go any further, we still have some frosting left, or some glaze if you will. Next comes the fun part. Now, you don't have to do this way. I'm doing it because I actually have a machine that will be useful in helping me get my Doritos where I want them. You can do anything you want. You can just crush the bag if you wish. It's totally up to you. There we go. Round 1 complete. I'm just going to continue to put my Doritos into my masher. Beat them down to nothing. Sprinkle them right on my cake, like so. I'm going to continue to do this until the cake is completely covered. Okay, so at this point now you can see the cake is effectively covered in Doritos. Now hold on, we're not done yet. Take the remainder of the glaze and we pour it over the topping. So at this point, if you really want to be artsy, that you can put your full-size Doritos on the top, like so. But now you see why you want this in a pan with high sides, because basically if you had this flat, it would just be a huge mess. Q has no clue what he's in for. You guys have already watched me make this monstrosity. It's crunchy, sir. Do you have mixed feelings about this right off the bat?
Right off the bat, yeah.
Is it the Dorito topping that's giving you issues, or what?
The Dorito topping. Curious looking color. I bet this is going to defy all logic and taste really good.
We can only hope. Okay, here we are, the moment of truth. You've watched me make this. You've been through the whole process while this guy's out picking flowers or whatever the hell he's doing. Let's see how we do here. Mountain Dew cake, friends.
The flavor of Mountain Dew and Doritos go together very well.
It really does.
This ain't that bad.
This guy.
I seriously like this.
Mountain Dew to wash it down.
You can definitely taste the Mountain Dew, and it's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like overbearingly sweet. It's not at all. It's really good.
It's also very moist. Secret part of that, you like the word moist? Most people do. The secret part of that is this cake actually has pudding in it as well as Mountain Dew. I like this cake. I know as the guy that made it, it shouldn't be a shock, but I mean, I was just following a recipe. I really didn't know how it would turn out. I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Turned out well. I wonder how this would taste with Cool Ranch Doritos on top of it.
Funny, someone said the same thing to me today.
Really?
My personal opinion, not as good. I think the cheese of this goes with the Mountain Dew flavor. I think it would clash.
You get like a Mountain Dew flavor, you get the cake flavor, and you get the Doritos. This is like just. It sounds like all these flavors shouldn't go together, but they do.
This would make a really kick-ass like birthday cake, I think, for somebody.
You think so?
Something different for someone. If they like Mountain Dew. Now, if they don't like Mountain Dew, probably not so much. I'm going to give this an A-. I think this would be something to try once. Maybe have once a year. I wouldn't want it every day.
No.
It's very different. But I think, like, if you were having a party or something and just wanted to throw something out there that was very different.
Yeah.
The thing about it is the shelf life on the Doritos are going to get stale. So you would want to have it in a condition where it's going to be eaten in a few hours. Like the next day, the chips are going to be stale, and I think that would be pretty horrible.
That would be pretty horrible.
But that's just my opinion. What do you give it, sir?
I think I'm going to go with a flat A, a 90%. It's great.
I can't think of any way that I could have improved it. Do you have anything?
No.
Maybe. Just maybe. Next time I make it, instead of using a glaze, I'll use like a lime frosting if I can find it. I'll sprinkle that with Doritos instead. Just a thought. Otherwise, good stuff. I'm going to put all the ingredients in the directions in the description below. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to ask him what the hell was so funny over there when the video's over. Thanks for watching, guys.
You were like that when he said sparkle. You're like that. I just thought that was a little
Sparkle. When did
no,
I?
I mean you.
When did I even say sparkle?
You said put the lemon on there, and you did look like a hand thing. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but I did. It really cracked me up out of nowhere. It just got to me.
I'm gonna leave this in.
I don't know what that was.
I'm gonna leave this on the video because I think I had something on my finger. I don't know. For those of you that want to go back and look, you can see what the hell he was laughing at. I don't even know if that showed up on camera.
I don't know. Just a little goofy.
Thanks for watching.